Hello. I wanted to try to explain some of the MIDI capabilities found in the SAM-16. I think it's a really cool instrument, unlike anything else, and it really kind of shines. But it's sometimes kind of hard to understand what it does. At least it was for me for many years. So, anyway, I have this externally sequenced kick and bass, and the SAM is synced to it, and it's going to play chords from two polyphonic synthesizers on two different MIDI channels. So first we'll just listen to the chords that I've programmed. On the top row you have 12 positions on each step, and for each position you can program your own note or chord up to 7 notes. And also, when you're programming those notes, the first note you press for each chord becomes the root note and will be output on the analog row. So if you also have a monophonic analog synthesizer hooked up to this at the same time, you have some control over which note you want the bass to play to accompany each chord. So that's really pretty cool. And then additionally, the velocity row can also be used to switch between two different MIDI channels. There's the MIDI channel you have it set to, and then it'll also play at times the channel number one higher than that. And there's 7 different ways. It has 7 different algorithms for the velocity row that decides how it's gonna play between the two channels. In this particular setting, in the center, it's going to play MIDI channel 1 with low velocity, and as you turn counterclockwise, it will increase velocity on channel 1. And in this particular scenario, we have velocity opening up the filter as well, which is just a program on the synthesizer. And as we go clockwise, it's going to play now the synthesizer hooked up to MIDI channel 2. And there's no tonal change there because that particular synth doesn't respond to MIDI, so we just hear the same chord with no kind of change in tonality. Additionally, you can have an external signal kind of turn that knob for you. And so there's 2 modulation buses, bus A and bus B, and depending on the position of this bottom row of switches, you can assign the bus A or bus B to affect the velocity row, well, other parameters too. But in this case, I have the output of the bus system connected into the velocity in. Therefore, my external signal will turn this knob for me for every step where I have this in the up position. And if you change the frequency of that modulation, you can get different kind of rhythmic switching going on. And on top of that, you can also transpose the entire sequence externally. And again, we're only listening to one step play, but we can transpose that. is already kind of some cool stuff going on with just one step playing. And then we can start to listen to the other ones. And then, yeah, from there you could just kind of jam out on it. Another cool thing is that your entire performance here can be recorded with a computer or some other MIDI sequencer, as long as it's capable of recording on 2 MIDI channels simultaneously. Your entire performance here can get recorded and then played back and further manipulated on whatever you recorded that MIDI data with, which is really, really a lot of fun.